Hello, hello, hello. Uh, this is my third stream today of a different subject. I almost did four. I almost did Marvel Snap today, but just just too many things. Too many things. I was gonna do Marvel Snap and just do mission clearing and stuff, but it just got to be too much. So now I got to figure out how to get at least two missions done between now and tomorrow if I don't want to miss these missions. This month looks interesting. We're gonna have some interesting cards coming out. All of the weekly entries, a lot of them have things I want. So I'm gonna have to do some serious collector's cash. I did actually try for the first one and got the first guy I want. The first one. I did actually like some of the variants, but I'm concerned. I've got 3 keys. Well, I got 2 keys left now, but I'm a little concerned that I only have 2 streams, or I only have 2 characters, 2 keys left. And I wanted one. I liked both of the variants, but I liked one of them a lot, one of them little. But the thing is, there's a couple of really good cards coming out during the course of this month that I'm interested in. And the problem is, I don't think I'm going to have... I don't want to burn up all my keys, because it's going to be hard to get them. I mean, I'm going to miss. I'm not going to get them all on the first try. So that means I'm going to have to try a couple times, 2, maybe even 3 times. Hopefully not 4. But that means I could burn through my keys and not get some of them. So right now, I've currently only got 12 cards. There's actually 1 week where I want all 3 cards coming up. I want all 3 of them. I want Howard the Duck. There's a week with Howard the Duck coming. I want him. He's not super great, but I want him anyway. Just because I think I have some ideas to play him. So I want Howard the Duck. I think that same week there's Galactus. I don't actually have Galactus yet. And then the card of the week I actually want as well. So it doesn't mean they're coming out with a ton of mover cards this week. I'm not a huge fan of the these. I'm not a huge fan of the card this week, but I wanted it for me. I'm not a huge fan playing against it because there's so many cards, so many decks now with big cards that are forcing you to play Shang-Chi, right? Well, now they came out with a card that disables Shang-Chi. So it's like they counter Shang-Chi, so now it's like, well, all these big decks are going to just get it run wild all over everybody. But unless everybody who wants to play Shang-Chi also starts playing Rogue, or they start playing Rogue, or they start playing Enchantress, or even Echo for that matter. All cards that can disrupt ongoings, but you have to do something against their ongoings. So now you have to carry 2 anti-cards to kill anything big, which is really annoying. So people with big decks are going to just start playing this 1 card, and you have to play 2 cards just to stop those big decks so that you can play your stuff. But basically what that means is you're going to be able to play all these little minis, all the onesie guys. You start playing that. Now it's like, do you even bother? Do you just try to beat them? Can you beat the big decks? If all the big decks just started playing because nobody's playing them anymore, because nobody plays Shang-Chi anymore because they're afraid of that 1 card that they're all putting in their deck. I think it's going to screw the meta. I'm just telling you. I feel like it's going to screw with things. And then they're going to start nerfing things because people are playing it. It's too powerful now. It's winning all the time. And that's because they introduced a card now that's countering all the counters to that. Yeah. And what's with all the 1s and 6s, man? Everything's big guys and small guys. Why not start doing stuff for those sorry little 2s? There's no cards. There are cards to help 4-cost cards that specifically lower the cost of 4-cost cards. There are things out there that specifically help the 1-cost cards, and the 3-cost cards get bigger and stronger. There's things out there. The 5s, they're there to support all those other cards, and they're big cards. They're decent cards. They don't need any support, but they're expensive. 6, same thing. They're just big and powerful cards. They don't need support. But yeah, here they are getting something that says they can't destroy them. So now you've got, okay, now you've got these things that are supporting every number. You've got 1s and 6s protected and supported. You've got 5, you got 1s, 3s providing, getting power boosts. You got 4s that are getting multiple things that are reducing their cost. It's getting to be like, okay, well, what about the poor 2s? There ain't no 2-cost card boosts. There's no 2 boosts. There's no 2 strongers. There's no 2 cheapers. There's no 2 protectors. None of that stuff. It's like, what have they got against the 2 power cards or 2-cost cards? The only way 2-cost cards ever get any love are like Cerebros, Cerebro 2s and Cerebro 3s and whatever. But I think it's kind of odd. They don't seem to want to give the 2s any love. All right, so here he is. There is Krampus, closing in on complete. It's way too close. I can't hold him there. I won't be able to paint there. I'll be whacking my head on it. But I'm gonna have to lower the focus a little bit. Hopefully that's a little better. Let's try that. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. A little bit more manageable. So there he is. There's Krampus, getting closer and closer to finished. And I still want to make the red a little more washed out, but I still want it to be red, so I don't know how much rush I'll be. I'll probably put maybe some kind of a very thin brown wash on it or something, just to darken it up a tad. Maybe it'll bring out the texture a bit too. Okay, so he's getting close, but he's got a lot of little things that I have not finished on him. Santa also, it needs to be assembled. Santa's not done either. I've been working on trying to get his sword done. His shield needs to be kind of a little bit more textured a bit. I got to, I don't know. I've been trying to figure out how best to call out some of that. It is a wood shield with a steel piece on it. I'm going to probably call in some lighter colors. Let's go ahead and start working on Santa a little bit. I'm going to move Krampus out of the way for a moment. You know what? I think I'm going to put Krampus in a case. I just don't... I just feel like he's a little too exposed, considering how I've had some bad luck. I keep breaking pieces off of him, so let's put him in a safety zone, shall we? This will test how good he fits. Now, he's not done by any means. In fact, I may actually end up having to you know what? I'm going to actually move him to the outside of one of these figures cases. It's weird, but yep. He's gonna. I'm probably not gonna finish before I use them in a scenario. But that does not mean I'm not gonna finish them. So my rush to get them done is really a rush to get them done enough. So I don't like this. I hope I don't break it. There's Krampus. Woo, he fits, but boy, it's a close call. Very close call. Okay. Santa, come and get finished, man. We got to get you into a state of complete enough. Let's start by giving you some eyes. Now, oddly enough, we haven't actually got We got the whites on his eyes. He's got some long eyebrows. But what we don't have are pupils. So let's get some pupils in there. Probably just little black dots, the usual. He's a normal guy with normal pupils. Can't do anything fancy. There's not gonna be any colored blue eyes. Maybe I should do blue eyes. Ooh, blue eyes would be good, huh? Santa seems like a blue-eyed kind of guy, doesn't he? Doesn't that seem like a Santa thing? I'm gonna put a little white over here simply because I feel like I may have to do a little bit more white. If I'm gonna do blue, how about a light blue? Kind of a Santa turquoise blue kind of thing. Magenta is probably more of a purple. Let's put that down here with the reds for now. Turquoise. I figured turquoise is the blue I want. Why turquoise? I don't know. Just what I feel like. Santa's gonna get blue turquoise eyes. Which to me just looks kind of like a dark bluish purple. I don't know. You know, one thing I never see any of these guys do on their streams is shaking bottles of paint. How do they do that? Maybe they already know what they're going to paint with and they just drop it in front of them. They're pretty good at planning ahead. That's probably what it is. I, on the other hand, am not. It's all spur of the moment for me. It's like, what color today? I can't plan ahead and know all the colors I'm going to use. Forget that. Forget that crazy talk, man. Who does that? What kind of a weirdo can paint, who know what they're going to paint all their colors at once in advance? Those are just strange, unusual peoples. Oh. Tomorrow I'll confirm that we're playing on Thursday. Hopefully we are. In which case I have to figure out, at some point I got to start figuring out the exact scenario, how this is. I mean, I already kind of have it in mind how it's going to come together, but I got to figure out how I'm going to get them into the battle, into the confrontation I'm setting up. Then I have to figure out how to, instigate the whole thing. Get them to kind of have it in mind. Hopefully, I mean, it's really easy for them to just detour it, right? They're like, yeah, we're not doing that. It's like, oh, okie dokie. It's not like I can force them, right? It's like, that's not the way it works. DMs don't have that kind of power. They have the power to provide temptations, possibilities. They do not have the ability. Hold on a sec. I gotta stop talking. My throat vibrates my hands. All right, well, I think that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's do a little bit more right there. Actually works pretty good. All right. So, as we continue to move on to the next thing, let's get the clock painted in his belt. Let's do that. I am going to go with a black belt. It is already kind of black. I think the trim of the belt needs a little bit more work, obviously. Can't decide if that's just going to be metal. It looks very metal-esque. Very metal-esque, his belt. So I'm trying to decide if I want it to go metal or... Very interesting. I don't even know how that buckle would work. Quite the buckle. Quite the buckle going on here. And if it's a buckle that's actually holding his metal plate on his stomach there, then it is probably a metal buckle. Clamping two metal buckle parts together. Now this clock he's carrying around, it's going to be a mislead. Because it doesn't, nobody can see it, but I can, and I'm telling you right now, it does not. Does not. It sits on the top of the belt, so it's like, how's it being held on? I know, Ken, you're getting caught up in the minutiae of the details. All right, I'm going to do it with I'm going to do the same thing I use on the border, but it's going to be black. So a black belt, which I think is already black. I think I already painted it black, but it's going to have a lot of the white metallic that I set up before, which is really, it's really just this metal medium mixed with white. That's really all it is. That is my high-tech metallic white that I'm using. Nothing too fancy-pantsy, just metallic white mixed. It's basically white mixed with metallic medium. I've also tried I even mixed it a little bit with silver at one point, and that worked out pretty good too. See, because if you do it with silver, it'll lighten up the silver a lot, but it does tend to look a little bit more silvery. And the silver actually is better at the metallic effect. But you got to go really light on the silver or it's going to... I even have a light silver. I have a silver gray. Which is real close. Then there's I have silver. And where is... natural steel. Maybe my silver gray. I just like it to have a strong metallic look, which it seems to do all right. But oops, let's turn on sound here. Yep, this is my divergence here. Diverging from what I'm supposed to be doing in order to make track of what that color is. And all right, so I was using, this is the silver gray, and I use that because it's got silver in it. But the metallic medium I just found to be more metallic-y? I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for? All right. I'm just going to keep trying to just adding this metallic white. Now I did try to do NMM with this guy. In fact, I did do NMM on one piece of it, and that's on the pauldrons on his shoulders. But I couldn't convince myself that it was better than metallic. I mean, not the way I do it. Yes, it's better than metallic. NMM is better than metallic when done professionally. Done by people who know what they're doing. And I just wasn't able to accomplish that. So I decided I'm going to bag on it. I think, red is a hard color to do metallic, and I just couldn't get it where I wanted it. I wasn't happy with it. Especially on some of these surfaces, it just wasn't happening, man. Metallic NMM seems to work better on a sharp pointed surface. In other words, an area with a lot of well-defined edges and rounded surfaces, flat surfaces. It's just really hard to do. Like a sword has some nice edges, so you can go right up to the edge and get it where you want it, right? But like really big, wide, fat-bodied dudes with big, fat body armor. Yeah, I couldn't get it. I said, no, this just isn't working. It just looks, everything I did just looked like spots. Like I had, just a random spot in his back, and I couldn't get it to look right. And I blended and tried to blend it, and there wasn't a right amount of blending that seemed to pull it off. If there's a solution, I hadn't found it, and I just didn't have time. I was spending too much time on that, and not enough on actually getting this guy done. So, yeah, and I gotta go all the way around his body and get this thing on. It's just a lot. And I've only got 2 days left to get Santa to a state. I mean, Krampus right now isn't done, but he's at least fully assembled. Done enough that I can at least call him fully assembled. What I would not call him, display ready by any means, but I'll work on him. He'll keep getting his time. You'll keep getting tortured with their presents until they're done, but this is my rush to get it to a point where it's ready for gaming. What would be table ready for my group. I think 1 year I did a pack rat, 1 year I did a turkey. This is way late. Because, well, part of it is because we didn't actually play it all during the holidays. And if we had, I would have probably got a little further by now, but we would have been already done playing. As in, I'd be trying to finish it up. I would have gotten further before we played, and then I'd be further along now, but I'd probably still be going on them. But hopefully I would be, because I would have made more of an effort had I known, but we kept canceling, so I didn't all right, well, I got other things to work on. I mean, not just painting, but other things, holidays and other fun stuff. So I keep working on getting his belt. I mean, I was just thinking this would be good color to go around the edge of his belt, but I don't know. I don't know how it looks. What do you think? White and black? Does that work? Silver probably would be okay, but this is not really getting me that shiny. I don't know where I'm getting my metallic from. Not enough metallic, in my opinion. So yeah, just keep. Could be I put on too thin of a coat in places. I don't know. Could be that too. So we did board gaming all day on New Year's Eve. Started at 1 o'clock, went to pretty much New Year's Eve. I think I played only 4 games, but we played a couple of longish games. We played Endeavor was the last game we played. I don't know if you ever played that one. It's basically ships. It's kind of like basically you're some version of Columbus traveling the world, conquering. Kind of conquering. I mean, there's a little bit of fighting, Not much, just enough to just enough to help you get things that someone else beat you to. You go in there and take it away from them. It was never all that complicated and knock people out of places. It's not like battles are full on and you had multiple ships or anything. It was like you have a battle thing and you would conquer them. It really wasn't that hard. So you just occasionally got kicked out of places. But there wasn't like a lot of it, so you couldn't just constantly be inundated with fighting. And if people didn't find ways to do it outside of fighting, they weren't going to do very well. Thing is, I did pretty good. I scored a boatload of points. I don't know what I did. I wasn't fighting even that much. I don't think I attacked anybody at all, ever. I did get attacked. I think I got attacked and kicked out of one spot, but it didn't really matter. I already earned all of the resources for that spot, so somebody was just trying to get a foothold into an area that I no longer cared. So I was like, okay, it's yours. I already got what I wanted out of there. And so I did that, and overall I just kept getting points everywhere I went. Before I knew it, I had a lot of points. I don't know what a good score on that is, but compared to them, I mean, I almost had most of the stuff maxed out. Most of the things that you could score on, I had them almost all maxed within a couple points of max and all the different things. Now, yeah, some people could be maxed in one thing or multiple things, but I had all of them almost. I had multiple of the highest value cards, and then I also played Ex Libris. Ex Libris is kind of cool. I've always liked it. I don't know, something about it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of, I don't know, just kind of a easy kind of going game. A little bit of thinky. They're all thinky. I like thinky games a little bit to a point, as long as they don't overdo it. And it's basically you're building a library of books. That's all you're doing. But you're trying to configure it so, everything kind of fits. Because you have to build it. You can't put your bookshelves floating in space. So you're constantly trying to figure out how to best get your books laid out. And now, they have to be in alphabetical order and all that stuff. And anyway, I've played this game many times, and I've done okay in the past, but man, I had a near perfect bookshelf. This is probably the most perfect bookshelf I have ever had. In fact, it may be the most perfect bookshelf in all the times I've played. Of all I've ever played with. Now, I'm not saying it's the most perfect of anybody, anywhere, at all times, but the people I played with, it was a pretty perfect bookshelf. There's this one part of it where you have to get everything, you get scored based on how perfect your bookshelf is. In other words, how well the shelves are aligned, and how the biggest area you have that's a rectangle, a square/rectangle over the entire thing. So you get to count all of the cards or all of the slots you built in the rectangle. But if anything's outside the rectangle, like something juts out, that doesn't count. You can't count those cards. I had 0 jutting out cards, which is actually pretty hard to do. I don't know that I've ever done that. And I've seen 9, and I've even seen 12. I had 15 cards in my perfect cube, and it was it was pretty nice. And so I scored a lot of points on that one too, which was by far the most I've ever scored, I think, on that game. It was just a good overall 2 games. Now, the one game I did not win. I came in third, I think, either both times. No, I think I came in second once and third the other time. And yeah, I think it was second the last one and third the first one. We played, I don't know if you've ever heard of a common game. Actually, I think it's pretty well known. It's Sushi Go Party. Probably more popular, more well known than either of the 2 I mentioned before. I don't know if I like it more than the other two, but it is, I think, a little bit more well known. And Sushi Go Party is just basically a game of. It's a little thinky too. It can be. It's kind of a trading game. Not trading, but what do you call it? Drafting. Like if you ever played Magic and you do a Magic draft. You get these handful of cards. You take one card. You pass the rest. And then the one you take is what you keep on your table. And yeah, that one was. I was having a little bit more trouble getting going on that one. You have a little less control. Games that I have a little less control can, they can go any direction. Doesn't matter how good a gamer you are. Uh, you might be good enough to maximize some things, but if the cards don't come to you or somebody else is trying for the same thing, there's not much you can do. You can only take what you can get. And as such, you're able to you're just kind of stuck with whatever you get, and you build the best you can. That said, the game is fun. My wife plays it, so I don't mind. I like playing it simply because she does. Because she doesn't usually play games with us all that often. She don't like the long ones. She doesn't like competitiveness. I mean, you're playing a board game, so there is an amount of competitiveness that's always going to be there, but not everybody likes to be competitive, and it can be frustrating. There are people who just say, well, I'm not winning, so I'll help someone else win, which is not a good way to play. If it's one thing to play for fun, but to play Kingmaker is just going to make other people frustrated. Because other people are trying to win, so if you play Kingmaker, I'm just going to help this person win. That means it's basically 2 against 1, 1, 1, 1. And so Kingmaker's not great, but that's not how she plays. She just plays for herself, not necessarily trying to help anyone else, but she also doesn't care that much about her score. So she may do things that aren't optimal, but it only affects her, right? And that's okay. I don't mind that. People want to play and they're not worried about that. They're just trying to have fun. All the way, more to it. To them, that's fine. But if you're playing a board game with people, don't be Kingmaker. Don't be that guy who's just like, I don't care about me, but I'm going to help so-and-so win. That's not you're just going to make everybody at the table resent your playing because they're not going to want you playing anymore. Because almost any game that if 2 people are ganging up or, working together to make, for a lot of games anyway, it makes it unfair for everybody else because it basically becomes 2 against everybody else. Everybody else is 1, right? Now they can all gang up too, but then you're not playing the game as it was intended. So if everybody starts going, oh, well, if you're doing it, we're doing it. And if you're doing it, we're doing it. And then you're like, okay, this game's not a team game. It's not how it was designed and not how it was intended. There's kind of the problem here of, even though I'm trying to be as precise as I can with this, if you go over and get it onto the black, you gotta be very careful not to get it on the black. So a lot of this belt buckle is the most intricate of this white application parts. Yep. Whew. It doesn't look too black. Once you get enough of the bright, shiny silver color on there, the still don't know how that clock is being held on, but I'm trying not to get caught up in that nonsense. Put my hand into the primer. Time is it? 9:27. I guess I'm almost done. I really do got to hit the hay pretty quick because, getting back to the grind this week. I'm probably going to be tired tomorrow. I did get up earlier today. I got up at... I got up at 6... I don't know, whatever time my wife's alarm went off, I got up with her. Actually, I got up before her. Her alarm went off. I got up. She snoozed. She was all excited that we might get snow because I was in the forecast for next week. And I said, well, that's pretty far ahead. She goes, yeah, well, it's better than nothing. Sure enough, today it was gone. The forecast said, "Oh, sorry, that's too far ahead. We don't really think there's going to be snow." And it really wasn't even a snow forecast. It was like a, what do you call it? Mix. Chance of mix. And a chance of mix, as you well know, doesn't mean anything, because it might as well be rain. Even a mix, even when it does show up, it's not always snow, it's sometimes just rain. Even when they predict it right up to the end, it's like there's no accumulations with a mix, right? It's just... it just means you might see some flakes. It's like, but that's not rain, or that's not snow. Seeing some flakes in the midst of a bunch of rain is not necessarily the same. Nor is it without the accumulations. It's really not that exciting. Though some would say it's better than nothing. If you like snow, some would say it's worse than nothing. But I am of the it's better than nothing, I guess, but I like to get snow. Doesn't help me any with work though. I work from home, so as long as I have power, I'm working. Some of this stuff really takes my concentration, so it forces me to stop talking. My brain's like, it's too much. It's a high level of focus. He's very, Santa's very Christmassy, so he's got to go, even though he's got a black belt, he's got to have that snow white trim. And since it's armor, it's got to be silver, right? It's going to have to be reflective because it's metal. Plus, white metal is Christmassy. This looks like snow. It's got to take the Christmas spirit even into battle. That's his way. Now, how does... Now, what kind of power does Santa have after Christmas? Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Should I go with, what should I do with the clock though, huh? Ideas. Probably won't do it right now though. It's 9:33. So as we finish up the belt, got to do the clock next. I probably should at least do his little clamp down here. But I think I need to paint that black some more. And he's also got some white I missed right up in between the belt and the bottom. Yeah, we got some things to fix there. So yeah, we'll do that belt part later. It's a little bit too much to do there. Take me 20 minutes. It's like 20 minutes to do that? Yeah, see that little piece right there? Yeah, it's gonna take me 20 minutes. Because I gotta paint the edge, and I gotta paint the top, and I gotta paint the different colors, and that's why I am a slow painter. Ta-da. But hey, every little bit counts. He's getting close to finished. He'll get there. We will get there. Promise. He will arrive. And then I probably have to do a little bit tomorrow, and then I'm gonna have to put his new sword on, which tucks right into his armor there. Something like that. I'm trying to figure out. I have had it in here a few times, but I may have to put more effort into my non-metallic metal. Oh, so much to do, so little time. What shall I do? Will I ever get it done, you say? Well, maybe. The finished product may not make it to game day, but something will. Something will make it to game day. I just got to get them done enough to paint to get them assembled. That's all I need. That's all I need. A little bit enough to get them assembled. Then I will be ready for Thursday at least. So I got to do some shieldy stuff, and I got to do. Then I could probably glue them together. To be honest, I finished up the shield enough. I could probably glue his shield on because he's pretty close. I might have to do a little bit of a shading on him maybe before I put it on, because the shield's going to be right up against him, like so. So it's going to be pretty hard to get any real shading or anything done under there. Put that on. It'll block out everything. So if I'm going to do that, I got to do it before I put that on. But until then, take it easy. Goodbye.